but she could turn heads when she roll up. Body got curves, setting up, she's a soldier. Exotic in the face, drive a Benz, girl, a polka. About to give her all this baby Casanova. Hit it out the park, home run, Sammy Sosa. Baby girl, say she in the snakes, I got that cobra. She give me the address so I can show her. Now I know where she live. We up off in her crib, panties drop, mission is to see her get on top of me and ride this, ride this, ride this.
Welcome. You are now listening to On One Radio. I am your host, Tony Williams. I do apologize for my tardiness. We are having some technical difficulties like crazy, but you know what? It ain't stopping shit. Yes, it's not stopping us. Welcome to all the new listeners. Welcome to all my day ones. Welcome, welcome. Today is May 29th, 2019. And I hope you've had a wonderful day. It is wind down time. So hopefully you got, your chill out spot and you're kick back, lay back, and just ready to chill. Like I say, it's wind down time. Wind down, relax, and enjoy. On One Radio, the talk show podcast station, bringing you the realest entertainment, information, lifestyle, and comedy shows around. Contact On One Radio by email, TonyOnOneSpeaker@gmail.com or Sister Such and Such at yahoo.com. Bottom 337-513-4478. By Skype to chat, the name is Tony on One. Like, share, and follow at Tumblr, Facebook, Vigo Video, Snapchat, WordPress, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and LiveMe. On One Radio is covered by Spreaker.com. The Tony on One Talk Show podcast station is found at www.spreaker.com/user/Tony on dash and the number one. And again, I say welcome. In the news today, we have going on a lot of crap. It's pretty much about to be summertime. Some people feel like it already is because of the weather. But for like schools that are still in, we know this is the end of the school year and it is getting hectic. And there have been reports of crowd jumpings and all sorts of things of that nature. From Dallas to Florida to, pretty much California, everywhere. Every state, the students are pretty much kind of going to look wild. Here in the boot, Louisiana, that is, the children are already out of school. So we are done with that, and pretty much summer has started for us. But for the rest, there are teachers getting hurt, things of that nature, students being wheeled away in ambulances, and it's just getting ridiculous. But that's what's been going on in the news as far as our children go. But we do have some good news for tonight. Big shout out to a film director, Maddie Diop, who becomes the first Black woman ever to win at the Cannes Film Festival. Kudos to you, my dear. Kudos to you. Much respect. You did that. Yes, you did that. Much respect. And also, we have, as for news, now, national parks are starting to do something that people get out and about, even for those who have abilities, with, and this is brought to you, Hacker. with disabilities are entitled to a free lifetime pass to national parks. Something good to get people up and get them out and back in nature. I'm a big nature fanatic and I'm disabled as well, so it sounds wonderful. I like the outdoors, catching those sun rays, but not too much. But it is for the body. Um, if you or your child has a permanent disability, you may be entitled to a free lifetime pass to visit the national parks and federal recreation lands. The pass can be used at over 2,000 federal recreation sites across the nation. Those include national parks, national wildlife refuges, national forests, and other federal recreation lands. It also extends that same privilege to everyone in the vehicle with its holder. So if one person in your family qualifies, you can all visit a park free with that pass. A pass, you'll need, of course, there are a few things you'll need. Either a statement signed by a licensed saying that you have a mental or sensory impairment as one or more major life activities, and stating the nature of the impairment ordered by a federal agency such as the United States Veterans Administration, which you have been medically determined to be eligible to receive benefits as a result of blindness or permanent disability. Other a document, proof of receipt, Social Security disability income, which everyone knows is SSDI, or Supplemental Security SSI, or document by state agencies of vocational rehabilitation, which attests that you happen to be eligible to receive vocational benefits or services as a result of medically determined blindness or disability. Showing a state motor vehicle department disability sticker, license plate, or hang tag is not acceptable documentation. But I do suggest that everyone do, you never know, life is short, and get out, it's summertime, get out of smog, go away for a little while, and just walk around, roll around, get pushed around, however you need to do it, hobble around. But get out there and get back in touch with nature. Get good, clean, fresh air and take in all those views because they are breathtaking. All right. So, moving along.
Let's go.
Remember, as long as I'm on a live broadcast, you can definitely chat with me directly through the Springdom website, which you are listening to me to. And let's talk. All right. So, like I say, it is Monday. We're halfway through the week. Once again, you guys can definitely make it. We're almost there. We're at the halfway part. All right. Y'all can get through this. If I can get through it, you can get through it. Okay? We're gonna all survive. We're gonna survive. Right? Now, moving along to our
hot shit. Hot shit. Here it comes.
All right, now to our main topic. And this is pretty much some hot shit because what is happening to our community of children? What's happening? Things have been changing and changing very quickly. We all know those saying, time stands still for no one. And that thing is very much true. But in that time flying by and changing, some things are going in the wrong direction. Like, what is going on? You have children doing so many unnatural things. You have them speaking in a manner that is not becoming of a child. You have them behaving in ways that children should not behave in. The language, the attitude, what they do, how they do it, how they carry themselves. Shit has fucking changed, and it needs to change back. Seriously, it needs to change back if we would want to have any hopes of having a better future. I said it before, and I'll say children are our future. But if they're not being trained, then how can they be our future? How can we stop the devastating changes that are taking place if they're not being taught, if they're not being disciplined, if they're not told the truth? Because most of all, if you don't tell them the truth, they won't listen to you. And if they won't listen to you because they feel like you're lying to them or that they've been lied to, then there's no way to get them information that they desperately need. It starts at home. It starts at home. Now, I know there's a lot of parents going to be like, you know what, fuck you, I do my best. I get that. I'm a parent as well. But you got to do overtime. A parent's job is never really done. A caregiver's job is never really done. A foster care parent's job is never done. Whoever you're taking care of, whoever's child you're taking care of, whether it's your own or someone else's, your job is never done. Even when you sleep, your job ain't done. It's not. And y'all know I'm telling the truth. Because you be dreaming about shit and them getting in the shit and you having to go up to the school and go off and go bad and this, that, and the other. And it's just a lot going on, and it takes a lot to be able to rear them in the right direction. Now, the biggest issue I can see, and if I'm wrong, call me and tell me. Message me and tell me. I can handle it. We can talk about it. But what I can see is that the honesty is not there, so kids feel as though they don't have to fucking listen to us. They're lying to them at school. Parents are lying to them. Friends are lying to them. Everywhere they go, they are being lied to. And then they don't trust. And when they don't trust, that's a problem. Because then they don't know who to trust. And then they don't trust anyone. And that makes them hard. It gives them a hard heart, a hard perception of life. It gives them an I don't give a fuck attitude, which is something they don't need. But through life changes, that's what it's become. And I have to admit, I can understand to a certain extent. I was lied to as a child. It made me a bit on the rebellious side. Because if you lie to me about something small, you're going to lie to me about something big, and you just be viewed from on as a liar. It took me going through life and getting older to realize and understand who it was that I could trust, who I could listen to. And a lot of children seem to think that their friends understand more than anyone else. But what they fail to realize is that those friends are in the same exact boat that they're in. So of course they're leaning on each other. But it does not make them that trustworthy. Especially if they're not being honest. And sometimes as a child growing up, you figure your friend is your best friend. That person is never going to lie to you. They're never going to hurt you like the adults do, or like the teachers do, or like the principal, or like the school. And you have some kids who do not like the police departments because of all the abuse going on. So now you've taken out the people who are supposed to protect the families and the civilians and everything else. So now you don't trust police, you don't trust the educators. It's getting to the point to where they don't trust their parents any longer, or whoever's taking care of them. And then it gets to the point to where, okay, you're looking at all these lies on television, you can't trust television. The government is doing so much that's corrupt, and don't think these kids do not know or don't recognize or don't see. Some kids see more than others, some see less than others, but they see some things. Sometimes that adults are too busy to catch, but they've soaked it in. So now you got the government, the police, the parents, doctors, lawyers, everyone else is getting thrown in one pot of not trusting. And then over here you got a little thimble. We're gonna call that the trust thimble. But that thimble is so small that there is no way in hell many can go in that. So who can they trust? Who do they rely on? Besides the people that they feel that understands them the most, their friends. That's why it's so important to sit down and talk to them honestly. Don't tell them the shit that you want them to know. Tell them the truth. Let's break it down a little further. Let's dive a little deeper off into this.
Hot shit. Hot shit. Here it comes.
Okay, so for example, mamas. I know you're proud of getting away sometimes, but you gotta break it down and be honest with these kids. If you ran off Ray Ray because he cheated, then say that. When the child is old enough, say that. But don't talk about Ray Ray like he was a horrible person. He made a mistake. Because then you're projecting that off onto your child, and then your child is gonna dislike their father, have them feeling like, oh, he just abandoned me. Or you ran off Pookie them because you were the cheater. Then you got Pookie them kids over here, and you got all these kids, and they got one got, Pookie is one father, and Ray Ray is another father, and Junebug is another father, and you just keep going, and now you have all these children at odds not only with life but each other. Tell them the truth, that you made the mistakes. Be honest with them, that you weren't ready to be a parent and you was out there just riding the carousel, not worrying about if you were going to get pregnant or not. And after you got pregnant and you had children, things didn't work out. And let them know why. It's the truth. They'll respect you more for being honest. Yeah, they're going to look at you a little different, but they'll respect you. They'll actually be more willing to listen to you. Especially if you stop being a thought, because they watch what you do. And the same goes for the dads. They watch what you do. They listen to what you say, how you talk to other females and other people, how you do boys. It is how you do your girls. You got a homegirl and y'all supposed to be BFFs, but on the weekend when your homegirl gone to work, her dude is sliding over to your crib. You think your kids are asleep, but they not asleep. They know what's going on. They hear things. So their opinion and their view of you is going to change automatically. If your front door or your back door is a revolving door, whether you're male or female, and you have the audacity to talk shit to your children, no, they're not going to respect you. No, they're not going to want to listen to you. If you change dudes or females as much as you change your drawers, no, they're not going to listen to you. They ain't going to have no respect for you. They ain't going to be trying to hear what you're trying to say, because they ain't, at a certain point, they're not trying to be that way. You can actually mess up and fucking force your kids into being that same way. In effect, creating a cycle. But see, it goes a little deeper than that. Because People don't want to own up to their mistakes, their misdeeds or doings. If you can't own up to your shit, how can you expect for your child to own up to any damn thing? How can you expect for them to respect you? How can you expect for them to listen to you? How can you expect for them to show you unconditional love when they've never seen it? They've never heard it. They don't know what it means. Because again, like I say, nobody's being honest. You messing with everybody's man. It's always a shootout. It's always a fight. Y'all always getting put out. Y'all ain't never got no food. Food stamps being sold. What respect do you really deserve out of that? And for the fellas, don't lay up on her. Don't lay up on the next chick. Get out there and hustle. Hustle legitly. Get you some work. Go back to school. Get your own place. Then you won't have to worry about finding used condoms in the trash can. And then you want to raise hell. Acting like it's your house. Like seriously. Your homeboy go to work and you slide over to his bitch house. Your kids seeing all of this. There is nothing that's being done that will be forever hidden in the dark. It does not work that way. It will never work that way. And we wonder why the kids are so violent. Why little boys want to be little girls and little girls want to be little boys. Why there are boys who want to be boys, but they're violent against little girls. Or why little girls want to be so independent and feel they don't have to need anybody. It's a cycle that needs to be broken. And like I say again, it starts at home. Starts at home. Not the schools. It's the school's responsibility to teach your children manners, respect, morals, behavior. That's your job. You had them. Whether you're doing it alone or you have someone to help you, do it and do it right. They deserve it. They deserve a brighter future, to be honest about it. Because if you think about it, we're getting older. We're going to need them. I'll say that again. We're getting older. We're going to need them. We won't have anyone to care for us because they'll either be in the ground, in the penitentiary, or dying of AIDS or something else. Or they decided to jump ship and haul ass. Never to come back, don't want to talk to you, don't want to see you, don't want to have anything to do with you. That would hurt you. I know it would hurt me. That would seriously hurt. But then, like I say, it goes back to accountability. Have you been honest with them? Have you been truthful with them? Or are you too busy being a thug or a thought to teach them better? Do you not have time for them? We must make time for them. That's why in the old days, that old school, that's why things were getting built. That's why things were being made. Parents took the time. Moms took the time. Dads worked. Some moms worked. They cooked, clean. They taught their daughters to cook, to clean, how to be a lady. They taught the young men how to be men. Carrying a gun will make you a man, but what parents it does make you a man. The same goes for female. Because you have a vagina, that does not make you a woman. Having a head full of weave does not either. The biggest booty really does not matter in the end. That's just the visual for the moment. But it's not get you anywhere stable. You cannot build a life on that. These children must be raised properly and taught how to build a life. If they don't, things are going to get worse and worse and worse. And black people, we can't blame it on the white people. And white people, y'all can't blame it on the black people. And every other race cannot blame any other race for it. And to be honest about it, it's sad that it happens. Regardless of what goes on in your neighborhood, you have to take a stand and raise your children in a good in-house environment. If you can't afford to move, that's fine. Make the inside of your house a castle for those children. Make it a learning environment. Teach them girls how to cook. Teach them how to sew. And yes, they need discipline. They need limits. They always need something to do. Give them something positive and productive to do with their time. If not, then they're going to be out there thotting. Then they're going to be out there gangbanging. Then they're going to be out there robbing. And you don't want them running the streets. Kids are getting snatched up. Human trafficking is ridiculous right now. Children are being snatched up. Children are being sold. They're being mistreated, abused. It needs to stop. There is a better damn way. It really is. But it starts at home. What you teach them at home shows when they're outside of that home. So when you do decide to go up to the school and try to act the ass, when in fact your child was in the wrong, you making the situation worse. And that's not healthy. It's not healthy for you nor them. It's only when they are in the right that you can stand up and say, hey, look, this is not right, and this is not going down like this. But if you up in there, females, neck rolling, gun popping, and your booty at you at school, the principal and teachers see where the problem lies. And they see that to a certain extent, damn, the little house is not going to really make no difference. That's when you have teachers start giving up. Because everything I teach them, as soon as they get home, go out the window. Then you got failing kids, and then you got dropouts and everything else. Responsibility is a motherfucker. Everybody wants to be a beast until it's time to go to beast mode. Beast mode is not getting out there selling drugs, raping people, robbing people, or anything like that. Beast mode is grinding, true grinding. That's going to school. That's writing. That's learning. That's building up your skills. You have to have a skill set. That is a grind. The more skills you have, the more opportunities you have, the more opportunities your children see that they have. Let's get rid of this hopeless community syndrome. Hopeless community syndrome. It has to end. That's the only way the communities are gonna bounce back. Make sure your kids is acting right. Make sure they were dressed decent. They don't have to have name brands. You ain't got to be doing all that extra you doing to try to get them Jordans and all that. What for? If they're cutting up, they don't need it. All they need is the basics. Take these kids back to the basics. And yeah, I know the world is crazy, so you want your children to have cell phones so they can protect themselves and all this, and they can call for help, but under a certain age, they don't really need a cell phone. That technology is not good for them. For the little ones, because they're seeing things and being introduced to things that they don't need to be aware of yet. You haven't even had to talk with them 4 and 5-year-olds about the birds and bees, and they can tell you about the birds, the bees, the antlers, the giraffes, and every damn thing else. Now, what the hell does that say about technology? The internet is a blessing and a curse all at the same time. Everything in life should be in moderation. That's just like eating candy 24/7. You know you can't do that. The same thing with children and internet and TV and cable and all the rest of it. They need limits. Because when they get outside the home, there are limits. When they push those limits, they get hurt, they get killed, they get arrested. And all that is unnecessary because they don't know what limits are. Because they do not get punished. And I'm not saying beat your children. There are so many different ways that you can punish them, that you can discipline them. If you start when they're really young with the word no, it'll grow up with them. And they'll know that when mama and daddy or auntie and uncle somebody tell them no, no means just that, no, and they leave it alone. And they find something else to fucking do. But if they're never taught, how the hell are they supposed to know? Then they feel like the world is truly theirs. The world is truly nobody's. No one on this earth truly owns the world. And never will. That's some truth for your ass, and your kids need to know that. These movies are just entertainment. It's just entertainment. That's all it is. It's not to be imitated. Teach them. Let your little girls know. You don't have to be half naked to be cute. You don't need butt injections. You don't need lipo. You don't need that. Teach them to love themselves. But in order to do that, you have to love yourself. And if you don't truly love yourself, that's what they see, and they see that they need to do what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with loving who you are. And in loving who you are, you can pass that on to your children. And when they know what love actually is, they can learn so much more. It's going to take them so much further. And don't be an enabler either, because that shit don't help neither. That shit makes that worse. You are not to be your child's best friend. Should you become friends, I use that term loosely, it's because they're older. When I say older, they grown. And they have so much love and respect for you, and they're like, man, I can tell you any and everything. But I remember I gotta watch how I talk to you, though. I gotta watch what, how I behave with you. But you my best friend, because you taught me what was right. You didn't let me get away with that stupid shit. That's the only time it's okay to be friends with your kids. Because they're no longer kids, they're adults. and they've learned outside of what you taught them. And they see what it was that you were teaching them all those years. And they respect that. And when they're adults, it's like, you're cool as fuck in they book. Because you didn't let them fall. You didn't let them bottom out. Regardless of what your friends doing. You was at home with yours. You taught them their alphabet before they went to school. You taught them how to count before they went to school. You taught them how to dress like a young lady or a gentleman. You taught them how to clean up. You're teaching them how to survive. You're teaching them that education is more important than sex. Education is more important than being in a game. It is so much that you could bless them with only if you choose to do it. We must all do it. We all must do it in order for this to work. Because if not, then we'll all be sitting around looking like, oh, your kid didn't make it, I'm sorry. Oh, your kid made it. Yeah, but I'm sorry about yours. I'll pray for him. Because that's all that can be said about it. What's happening in our communities to our children, they're not being taught. They're not being showed love. They're not being told the truth. These children deserve more than what they're being given or shown. They deserve that much. They didn't ask to be here. They didn't pick the dick you decided to ride. They didn't pick the pussy you decided to dive into a club or in the park or in the back seat, wherever. Make better choices so that way you can make the choices for your children. Love yourself and you can unconditionally love your kids and teach them what that means. That's what's happening to our community. You've been listening to On One Radio. I've been your host, Williams. And this has been the Talk Show Podcast Station, bringing you the realest entertainment information, music, lifestyle, and comedy shows. You can always contact us by email, TonyOnSpeaker@gmail.com. You can give us a call, 337-513-4478. Follow me, Tumblr, Facebook, Video, Snapchat, WordPress, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and LiveMe. Y'all have been wonderful. Y'all have a wonderful week, and I will see you guys next week. And as always, stay beautiful and stay blessed. And remember, you all are the shit. Do you hear me? Yes, you are. And I love you. Love yourselves. And for all my other shows, www.spreaker.com/user/1. And you go to the site and pick and choose which one of my shows that you are interested in listening to. Give it a like, a thumbs up when you do. It's greatly appreciated. Love you much. Later.
Practice, we both know what it is. We get down to the biz, wanna see what she got. She push me on my back so she can